Well, good day, good day, good day, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this income opportunity presentation of JubiRev and JubiMax. My name is T. Lamont Silver Sr. Typically, we have an announcer with us that takes introductions. She has her mama's hat on this afternoon as she's spending time with her children. And so we're going to take introductions, and we'll also be your presenter for the afternoon. If you would, open up your questions box. Tell us who you are, tell us where you're from, and we will take a few introductions before we get started. Welcome, Lisa from Nashville. Good to have you. Tyron, the vicious, nasty, malicious rumor is you are building one well of a business, thousands upon thousands in your organization. Phenomenal job there, Tyron, in Trinidad. Bob from Nevada. Bob, I think you were one of our winners. Was it last week when the company gave away $4,000, and you were one of the winners of $200 as 20 folks got $200. So congratulations. Hey, Patrick from Sweden. What time of day is it over there in Sweden? Gabriel in Cameroon. Wonderful, wonderful, fantastic. I'm going to ask you the same thing, Gabriel. What time of day is it over there in Cameroon, Africa? Is it Oli from Denmark? Fantastic to have you. Elaine and Andy, they continue to get the Perfect Attendance Award from Plaquemine, Louisiana. Sheila from the UK, welcome, welcome, welcome to the webinar. Christian from Ohio in the U.S., congratulations. Well, welcome to the webinar. Alice from Florida, Helen from Florida, Teresa from Missouri, the Show Me State. So, Teresa, we're going to show you the money on this afternoon. Dallas from Granbury, Texas. Isn't it fitting that Dallas is from Texas? You like that humor? Okay, so maybe I should stick to the webinars. Jane from Orlando, stone's throw away. How are you doing, James? Herbert in Albany, Georgia. Is it Jan from Sweden? Wow, we've got our Sweden in the on the webinar strong here. Mitchell said, Mitchell must be from the southern part of the U.S. Yeah, there we go. Mitch said, hi, y'all. There you go, my friend in Richmond, Virginia. Is it Charisse there in Charlotte? Charisse, I know that town very well. They kicked me out of school there at UNC Charlotte, so I know that town very well. Dusty, Alpharetta, Georgia, good to have you. Jeanette in Sarasota, good to have you. Bottom right-hand corner is a questions box. That's where you can put your name and tell us what part of the world you are from. Wally in Kansas City, great to have you. Hello, Nim. I appreciate that, my friend out there in California. Good to have you. Michael from Clearwater, Florida. Wonderful to have you. Jordan from British Columbia, Canada. There are my Canadians. Wonderful to have you. Lou from Florida. Nelson from Canada. Carolyn from Texas. Karen from Michigan. John from Texas. Fantastic. Good to have you, my friends. Jeanette from Austin, Texas. Oliver from Trinidad and Tobago. I believe, Oliver, did you also, were you also a winner? I believe you were, of one of the company's giveaways. Fantastic to have you. Oh, my gosh, I don't want to pronounce your name wrong. The first name starts with an M. Last name starts with a G, from Slovenia. I am horrible at geography. I have no idea where that is, but it's wonderful to have you. We would love to know what time of day it is over there in Slovenia. Let's see. Hello, Rebecca. John from Michigan. Wonderful to have you. Zeke and Jerry from South Carolina. Wonderful. Dr. Glenn, always good to see you, my friend. From California. Dennis from the United Kingdom. Wade from Washington State. Welcome, Rebecca from Charleston, South Carolina. Hello, Nedra. Clarence from Burlington, North Carolina. Hey, buddy. Stone's throw away from my hometown. There in Greensboro, North Carolina is where I'm from. Nedra there in New York. Anthony B. in Seattle. JT in Pennsylvania. I'm a die-hard Steelers fan. Joel in Canada. Good day, Christina from Vegas. And Faith from Orlando. Clarence from California. My gosh, the names keep rolling in. I won't have a chance, unfortunately, to get to everyone during the introduction. We'll try to address as many of you as we possibly can as we go throughout the webinar. Well, again, Aya Boomy Moore, who typically is on here to take introductions. She is playing mom today. She's got a mom hat on and in school with her children. So unfortunately, I don't have an Empower Me Now moment to give you for those of you that are regular attendees to the webinars. So we'll just go on and get things started. I want to welcome all of our guests to the webinar, all of our existing JubiRev JubiMax family members. My name is T. Lamont Silver Sr. Everyone calls me T. Lamont. We have been in the home business industry for 19 years. We, like most people, struggled out of the gate the first few years. I got in this industry as a kid. My wife and I, we were kids when we got married. We were 22. I had been kicked out of college. I was delivering pizzas, 6400 East Independence Boulevard, Charlotte, North Carolina, at Pizza Hut. And I just knew there was so much more to life than getting your pizza to you in 30 minutes or less. We stumbled upon, tripped over, bumped into this home business industry. We didn't have any entrepreneurs in our family, so we didn't know anything about a home business or anything like that. And so we didn't have a lot of influence, no center of influence. So again, we struggled early out of the gate. But one thing that we did do is we bought into the dream. Here in the U.S., we saw folks. I was introduced to a gentleman named Joe Red, and my enroller in my first business enterprise kept saying, T. Lamont, you're going to be the next Joe Red. You're going to be the next Joe Red. Well, Joe Red was making over $10,000 a month. So since my enroller kept saying, you're going to be the next Joe Red, I bought into the idea of eventually being able to generate 10 grand a month. Now, it took years and years and years before we got there, but we did. And what I wasn't prepared for when we hit 10 grand a month, I thought I'd be on the mountaintop. 15 grand a month, I thought I'd be on the pinnacle. 20 grand a month, I thought I'd be out of space. I mean, you wouldn't be able to contain me. What I was not prepared for was the empty feeling that we had, knowing that while we were making money, the overwhelming majority of our teammates were struggling. Many cases not even making enough money to cover an auto ship or monthly subscription, until we ran into a model a couple of years ago. So the first few years we struggled. Then we finally started to hit our stride, built a couple of seven-figure businesses, still struggled internally knowing that most people on our teams weren't making money, until a couple of years ago. We stumbled again upon, tripped over, bumped into a company that had a revenue sharing model, and that changed everything. We're going to talk about that today. JubiRev is our company's promoter side. This is our marketing engine. JubiMax is our customer side. So through JubiRev, we all want to make some additional revenue. Some of us want to make additional to maybe pay a car payment. Some of you want to make enough to pay a house note. Some of you want to eventually replace an income or two, and some of you want a full lifestyle change. You're going to see how you can accomplish any of those through our compensation model. But our income opportunity is only as good as our product offering through JubiMax. We're going to have products and services that people are already using, people are already spending money for, and we're going to invite them to come and simply transfer their spending habits. So whether it's skincare, weight loss, energy, vitality, or whether it's travel, as represented by this couple here, or whether it is going to Walmart, but through our portal, going to Target, but through our portal, Office Depot, Old Navy, Macy's, 1-800-Flowers, so on and so forth, but through our portal and getting cash back. Okay, so first let's talk about this name Jubi, because I've got to be honest with you, Sylvia. A few months ago, when I was introduced to what was going to be JubiRev JubiMax, I thought, Jubi? What in the world is a Jubi? Well, Jubi is short for jubilant. And if you look up jubilant, one of the synonyms for jubilant is triumphant. You see, we're going to talk about how average, everyday people are going to be able to change their lifestyles in record time. Question is, are you going to be ready? And see, a couple of years ago, we saw folks like a young lady that had followed me for years named Lynn, who had followed me for years, and boy, she would come to every webinar, she'd come to every conference call. If we did an offline dog and pony show, offline shindig, she would be there too. And yet she had a very difficult time building a team and recruiting folks and selling and what have you. And prior to a couple of years ago, I never knew her to really make any money. A couple of years ago, when she embraced this revenue sharing model, a type model that we're going to share on today, a few months into the model, she's earning enough to make a car payment. A few months later, she's earning enough to make a house note payment. A few months later, she's earning enough to have a full-time income. So we want our promoters, our company doesn't refer to us as reps or distributors, or they refer to us as promoters. We want our promoters to be triumphant. JubiMax could mean thrilled. Jubilant could mean thrilled, excited, elated, ecstatic, exuberant. And we want our customers to be what? Say it with me. Excited, elated, ecstatic, thrilled, and exuberant about our product offering. Our vision is, Sherry, to spark a global economic movement and lead the revenue sharing revolution, while at the same time empowering people from all across the globe, like Ramesh from India, from all across the globe, like Jim in Canada, from all across the globe, like Clarence in North Carolina, to look good, feel good, and live good. Now, you can have a great vision, but that vision needs to be supported by a visionary. And we've got a phenomenal visionary. Our president, J. Joshua Beisel, is a former president of a top alternative energy company. Now, why is this important? It's important that the person that's leading the charge or helping us to lead the charge has executive experience. A lot of times, businesses in the home business field are run by people that were once promoters, and that's all they did, and then they elevated to maybe owning their own company. Well, I've been there. I've been a part owner of a network marketing company, and I can tell you I'm far more suited for what I'm doing now as opposed to being an executive. That's just not my cup of tea. And so J. Joshua Beisel is one of those very rare individuals that can be an executive and understands executive experience, but can also appeal and relate to the field. Because even though he had a very successful corporate America career, he had a life-changing event that necessitated that he come home and be with his wife and be with his little girl. And when he went through his savings after he had resigned, he had to start to make a living from home. Things got a little tight. Had to back up and punt. Had to borrow $55.36 just to get started in his home business enterprise. But he parlayed that into multiple seven-figure enterprises. He's now the founder and CEO of the largest independent MLM call center in the world. And some of you will be meeting our president, along with yours truly, on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. We'll give you more details for those of you that want to get to the Phoenix area and meet Mr. Beisel. Corporate highlights: the company is registered out of the British Virgin Islands. We've got some administrative offices there in Phoenix, but we're going to be setting up some international locations coming very, very soon. We've got fully staffed customer service, in-house software development team, in-house legal team. We've got the top MLM compensation attorneys, and they've helped to make sure that we've got a compliant business model and that we have the foundation of real products. So now, JubiRev, again, is the marketing arm of JubiMax. And here we're going to lead the revenue sharing revolution. And please remember this, that Rebecca, this is not just a company. No, it's not, young lady. It is a movement. JubiMax is our company's customer portal. JubiMax is where we're going to drive millions upon millions of satisfied, elated, excited, exuberant, thrilled Jubi customers, where we want folks to look good, we want them to feel good, and we want them to live good. All right, so now we're going to talk about the power of this revenue sharing model. This is the model that we ran across, stumbled into a couple of years ago. It changed everything for us because it changed everything for our Joe and our Susie average. One of my great mentors, and they happen to be on today's webinar, Zeke and Jerry Stewart from South Carolina. They were my leaders in the company where my wife and I hit it big for the very first time. And Zeke would always tell me, T. Lamont, if you can get your average person, Joe average, Susie average, don't focus on you making 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000 a month. You focus on getting your Joe and your Susie average making a few $100s a month. Because if you can get to making a few $100s a month, then they can start believing for $1,000 a month. Then they can start believing for 1,500, so on and so forth. He says you help more people get what they want, you're going to wind up getting what you want. So we're going to talk about this revenue sharing model. We are just a few short weeks away from this part of our compensation plan going live. This is where JubiRev is going to share every day that it has revenues, 7 days a week. It's going to share up to 50% of its daily commissionable sales volume with all of we promoters. Here's a caveat. You do not have to be a recruiter or a sponsorer or even a great salesperson in order for you to earn daily. In order for you to earn daily. We're going to talk about that. However, before we get to the money, we need to understand that the income opportunity is only as good as the product offering. The income opportunity is only as good as the product offering. So let's look very quickly at the products and then we'll get into the money. Well, ladies and gentlemen, skincare is one of the top selling products on the internet today. When you take a look at the home business industry, as a matter of fact, you'll see companies like Avon, the number one in terms of sales generated on an annual basis. The number one company in our entire industry is Avon. Do they have a skincare line? What about Amway? They're number two. They do $9.2 billion a year. Avon does $11 billion a year. Does Amway have a skincare line? What about Mary Kay? What about Natura? What about New Skin? So we know that skincare is a product that ladies particularly, and dudes as well, but we know that these products already sell. We don't have to re-educate consumers. All we have to do is have a great product and have a phenomenal incentive for customers to try our product. Same thing with weight loss. It is said that in the U.S., over 70% of the adults in America are overweight. And it's also said that about 1/3 of those folks are obese. Well, whether we're talking in the U.S. or all across the globe, weight loss is one of the major keywords. If you go to Google, weight loss is one of the biggest keywords that you'll find as people are looking for solutions there. Energy. I wish I had time to really tell you my energy testimony as we started taking the products here just a few weeks ago. Vitality. Look at how she's looking at him. Look at how he's smiling at her. This is a family show, but you can just about figure out what vitality means. A few weeks ago, we had an opportunity just to be in conference with some of the management team, and they allowed us to speak a little bit to manufacturing so we could start to prepare some training and things of that nature. And I just assumed that the men's formula would be a big seller. What I was not prepared for, Oli in Denmark, is when the manufacturer told me just how much that woman's formula flies off the shelf. All of these products that we've talked about, skincare, weight loss, energy, vitality, skincare, weight loss, energy, vitality, those will be JubiMax branded products. JubiMax branded products. We'll have our Jubi Trainer, which will also go towards our weight loss series, but also Jubi rebates. Now, this is very important because the management team, again, we've got to have visionary management, right? The management team said, listen, we're going to have all of these customers transfer spending. So they're already spending money on skincare. We have incentives for them to come and try our skincare. They like our skincare. They want to keep buying our skincare, weight loss, energy, vitality. But what about retailers like Walmart and Target and Macy's and Office Depot? all these types of retailers people are already used to. What if we could leverage the dollars that would be spent through those portals? As a matter of fact, let's do that. Let's go on and have our own Jubi rebate. So this is what will happen. We'll have over 5,000 retailers, ladies and gentlemen, representing over 300 million products. And when promoters like you and myself are products of the product, or when we have customers that simply go through our portal and they purchase from merchants they're already used to purchasing from, they're going to get cash back. It might be 2% with maybe like a Walmart. It might be 5 or 6 or 7 or 10, sometimes even 15% with some other retailers. And normally in about 30 or 60 days, they'll get their cash back. And remember what Mom said, a penny saved is a penny earned. Now, here's what you and I should know. The company's going to share up to 50% of every commissionable sales transaction with us on a daily basis in our JubiRev Daily Leadership Bonus. So now what does that mean for the company? When my wife and I transfer spend, and we spend the same dollars we would normally spend at Walmart, but we do it through our portal. Maybe we'll get a Walmart gift card, then mosey on down to the local Walmart. We get our 2-3% cash back. The company may net 1 or 2% themselves. Why is that important? Can you imagine the millions of monthly transactions that's going to go through the Jubi rebates, and the company's going to share a piece of that with all of us? There's also going to be a travel side. We're going to start off with our Jubi Resort membership, where you're going to be able to travel 2,000 luxury resorts in over 85 countries. I'm so excited about this part because my wife and I and our family, we love to travel. As a matter of fact, later on this month, my wife and I are going to the Dominican, and then we're going over to Chile, and then we've got a trip scheduled maybe in another month or two to Ecuador. Here's the beautiful part, is that we'll be able to go and stay in 8 days, 7-night vacation stays, ladies and gentlemen, in luxury resorts for pennies on the dollar, both our customers as well as our promoters who are also customers. Now, okay, so you say to yourself, okay, I'm starting to see this. Gabriel from Cameroon says, I'm starting to get it. Christian from Ohio says, I'm starting to get it. What they've done is they've positioned us in front of the money. See, Rebecca, since the company's going to share up to 50% of its daily commissionable sales revenue with all of our qualified promoters, then it's important that the company's positioned in front of industries that are already burgeoning, that are already growing, where money's already flowing. Skincare, weight loss, energy, vitality, travel. Now, what is our online shopping? What is our competitive advantage? Well, two things. Number one, we're going to actually be able to give away 30-day samples. Could you imagine someone that wants to lose weight being able to give them a 30-day weight loss sample where maybe they lose somewhere between 8 to 12, maybe 15 pounds in 30 days? Giving them the 30-day now we'll have a 90-day weight loss challenge, and yet we can give them a 30-day supply to get them kicked off. Well, if they lose that 8 or 10 or 12 pounds, excuse me, I feel a cough coming on. Sorry about that. Then what's the likelihood that they're going to want to come back and purchase more product to complete the challenge? Or what if we gave someone a skincare sample? Or there are other products that I haven't mentioned. What if we gave them a sample, ladies and gentlemen, possession being 9/10 of the law? They like the product, they run out of the product, they come back and do what? They purchase more. That's the whole game plan. That's the whole concept behind sampling. And then we're going to be able to have a second competitive advantage, and that's what we call Jubi Bucks. Now, let's assume here that Kim has gotten your skincare sample. Now, our customers will simply cover the cost of shipping and handling for the sample. All right, so Kim has gotten your skincare sample. She loves the JubiMax skincare. She's Jubi about it. All right, she's ecstatic, elated, thrilled. She wants to buy more skincare. Well, we can give Kim here what we call Jubi Bucks. Jubi Bucks are a dollar-for-dollar discount on the price of products in our JubiMax branded product line. So let's say that Kim, you've given her maybe a skincare sample, maybe a 30-day skincare sample. She's running out of the skincare sample. She comes into the JubiMax portal and she sees, okay, oh, good, I can buy some more. All right. She goes to check out. It's $100 US for the skincare products that she decides to pick up, but you've given her 50 JubiBucks. She gets to apply those 50 JubiBucks towards the $100 pricing, thereby lowering her price to just $50 plus shipping and handling. Now, as much as we love our Jubi rebates, where she can get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10% cash back, normally in 30 or 60 days, what you just did for her by giving her JubiBucks is you gave her a right now win, Wally, right now. Win, Sheila, a right now. Sergey, win, a right now savings, a right now discount. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're seeing, before we've even talked about the money, we've got products and services, skincare, weight loss, energy, vitality. We've got travel. We've got online shopping and other products I haven't even mentioned. And we've got a competitive advantage in the marketplace to attract consumers by using the samples that we give away as well as the JubiBucks that we give away. And here's the beautiful part. In our compensation model, the more you give, the more you get. The more those samples you give away, the more those JubiBucks you give away, the more you get. The more you give, 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 the more you get. What are we talking about, T. Lamont? Well, there's 10 ways the company's going to pay us. I'm not going to cover all 10. It would be overkill today. I'm going to hit on one, the personal JubiRev daily leadership bonus. That's what we're all here for, that daily revenue sharing, where Joe Average, not good at recruiting. Sue Average, not good at sponsoring. Marlene Average, maybe not good at selling, can earn on a daily basis. We're just a few short, very short weeks away from that going live. We're going to talk a little bit about generational override bonuses and a little bit about JubiRev 8-level override bonuses. All of these down here, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get in training. Let's talk about our daily leadership bonuses. Now, in order for us to really capture this, we need to understand what a Jubi point is. Each and every time that your customers claim their JubiBucks. So Kim registered at your site. Maybe you knew Kim and you sent her to your site. Maybe one of the qualifiers for our daily revenue is that we're going to place an ad a day. Maybe she ran across your ad somewhere online, clicked on the link, and she registered at your site. Maybe you put it on Facebook, or you tweeted it out, or you texted it out. Anytime you have a customer register at your site to claim JubiBucks, maybe you're giving away 50 JubiBucks for every registrant, to every registrant. Maybe you're giving away 100, 200 JubiBucks. Anytime one of your registrants gets access or claims access to our Jubi Resort booking engine, they don't even have to book a vacation. They have just registered so they can come into the booking engine and see what's available. Or anytime you give away a sample. So those three activities: someone gets JubiBucks from you. They didn't have to know you, by the way. Someone registers through your site to have access to our Jubi Resort booking engine, or someone opts to get a sample, skincare, weight loss, energy, vitality, as an example. You earn Jubi points. Now, these Jubi points are going to be very important, because how does the company determine, since it's sharing a portion of its revenue, Karen, with all of our qualified promoters, how does the company, Larry P., determine what your pro rata share is versus Laszlo's pro rata share versus Jose's versus Judy's versus Corinne's, so on and so forth? It's all based on Jubi points. So the more Jubi points you accrue, the more Jubi points you have, the more your potential daily revenue. Okay, so let's talk about this. Again, every time I give away JubiBucks to a customer, every time you give away JubiBucks, Danny, to a customer, you're going to earn 1 Jubi point. Every time you give away samples, let's say you give away a skincare sample, it retails for $100. You're going to earn an additional 5% there. So you're going to earn 1.05 Jubi points. You gave away a $100 sample, you're going to earn 105 Jubi points. We haven't talked much about the Jubi Trainer membership, only because of time. The Jubi Resort membership registrations, somewhere in the 180 Jubi point mark every time someone simply registers to gain access. Now, the following example that we're going to show, our attorneys wants to make sure that we convey that this is simply how the program is going to work, how the compensation model is going to work. It's not meant to imply any income guarantees. So nobody can guarantee the revenues that day. You know, every morning that I have been alive, the sun has, what is it? It rises in the east and sets in the west. I think that's what it does, right? Rise in the east. Yes. All right, so every morning it's risen in the east and it's set in the west, but I don't control that, so I can't control that tomorrow, right? I can't control whether or not there's going to be revenue for that day, but hopefully if the products are good and people are loving the income opportunity and people are getting the word out, well, if there's revenue to share, the company's going to share revenue with us. All right, here we go. So JubiRev is going to calculate and it's going to determine the daily revenue sharing leadership bonus value, and that's going to be based on that day's commissionable sales volume and other metrics. So that means Sunday's revenue sharing is going to be slightly different from Tuesdays because the revenue and the other metrics maybe are going to be different on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. Now what the company's going to do is it's going to share up to 50% or more of this bonus through the JubiRev Daily Leadership Bonus. Now what this means is that the amount of revenue that it will share that day, they're going to divide that by the number of active Jubi points so that every point gets an award. And we will refer to this as a reward per point. Now, one thing we're never going to refer to this as is a percentage. We're not going to say the company paid a certain percentage. That would be problematic, particularly for our U.S. Promoters, because that would seem to suggest some type of investment. We want to stay away from investment and banking terminology. This is not an investment. We're making a purchase of Jubi bucks so that we can give away Jubi bucks, so that we can give away samples as an incentive for customers to come and try our products in hopes that they will be long-term customers. The company is going to reward us by giving away these Jubi bucks and giving away the samples. Now, what is it going to take to be qualified for that day's reward? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you do not have to refer or sponsor or enroll other promoters, though many of you will. Many of you will be like my buddy Tyron, who's been out there telling the world, and he started to build a major team. All right, you don't have to, however, to participate in the daily leadership bonus details. What we will do when the time comes, and we're just a few very short weeks away from this, is we will place a qualified pre-written ad. We will place and post an ad daily. Most of us would do this online. Most of us, it'll only take a few short minutes to do this. But imagine 10,000 people a day, 50,000 people a day, 100,000 people a day or more in time placing an ad a day promoting JubiMax, promoting our products. We saw a company do that, and in an 18-month time frame, they went from no one knowing who they were to being the 130th most visited site in on the internet. Okay, so let's give you this example. In this example, the company generates $1 million that day in commissionable sales volume. And it elects to share 50%, or $500,000. I'm talking in U.S. dollar terms. Now, Joe's got some Juby points. He has 100 Juby points. Each Juby point earns a particular reward per point that night. And cumulatively, Joe's Juby points earned him 1.25 Juby bucks. Our daily reward is paid in Juby bucks. This is important because this allows us, as we are being rewarded, to store up more virtual inventory. Juby bucks is, think of it as virtual inventory, because when I give a Juby buck away, I earn more Juby points. When a customer comes to my site and they want a skincare sample, that may require that I have 100 Juby bucks sitting in my Juby buck inventory. So we are rewarded in Juby bucks, and in a few moments I'll show you how you can actually elect to have a portion of those Juby bucks converted into commissionable dollars. Now Sue, she's got 1,000 Juby bucks, Juby points, that night. Now she's going to earn the same reward per point. Notice my terminology. I never mentioned percentages. She's going to earn the same reward per point, only she's got more Juby points. She's giving away more samples. Maybe she's simply been in the system longer to be able to give more samples. Maybe she had the wherewithal to purchase more inventory than Joe. She's no better than Joe. She doesn't earn any more per point than Joe. She just simply has more Juby points right now. And so she earned 12.5 Juby bucks based on this example. The ratio is the same. Julio, he's got 10,000 Juby points. He earns the same ratio, or 125 Juby bucks. He just happened to have more Juby points. He's no better than Sue. He's no better than Joe. Maybe he's been in the system longer. Maybe he's given out, obviously, more samples than Sue right now and Joe. But here's the beautiful part, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we saw a couple of years ago. We saw our Joe average and we saw our Susie average start where they could. They would purchase inventory as much as their resources allowed. We always tell people, don't you hurt yourself. All right, don't hurt yourself. Don't go out and leverage your credit cards to the hilt. Purchase some inventory. Give that inventory away to help generate more customers and thereby getting more Juby points as you give away those Juby bucks. So we would see Joe eventually get up to maybe 1,000 Juby points, and through a process of time, maybe he grew his point totals to 10,000 Juby points. What would happen if you got to 100,000 Juby points? We saw folks get to 500,000. We saw folks get to over 1 million, some well more than 1 million Juby points. The more Juby points, the more your potential Juby daily reward in the form of Juby bucks. Now, what if I actually want to convert some Juby bucks into commissionable dollars? Can I do that? Well, what happens is you can set your system so that when you're going to be rewarded, you can have a certain amount of that reward converted into cash for commissioning purposes, as much as 60% of that daily reward. So if you earned 100 Juby bucks, you could say, hey, well, system, I want 60% or 60 of those Juby bucks to be converted into cash. Now 60 goes to your eCash, and if you want to commission that out, you certainly can. Or if you want to use that to maybe pay a monthly subscription, you can, or any combination thereof. You'll learn more about that as you come inside. Now, what I love about these Juby points is they generate daily residual income. For years, we would teach monthly residual income, but with this model, it's not monthly residual income, ladies and gentlemen. It's not even weekly. Ed, it's not weekly residual income. Dexter, Darwin, Dallas, Faith, Francisco, it's daily. And your Juby points will earn from anywhere from 80 days to as high as 85 days, to as high as 95 days, to as high as 105 days. And as we round out the webinar, we'll make sure you understand how to go from 80 days to maybe 105. Imagine every Juby point earning for 105 days. Okay, let's talk a little bit about generational bonus overrides. We won't have a lot of time to discuss this, but just a little bit about generational bonus overrides. Now, let's say that you eventually qualify to be a diamond promoter. And let's say that you referred me. Well, I want to purchase some Juby bucks. And not only do I want to purchase an initial inventory of JubiBucks, because remember, the more JubiBucks I purchase, the more I can give away. The more I give away, the more Jubi points I earn. The more Jubi points I earn, then the more my daily reward can be. Well, you're going to receive up to a 10% commissioning on that. Well, if I enroll someone, they would be on your second generation, you'll get a 5% commission. If they enroll someone, you get a 1% commission. And not only that, every day that we are being rewarded with our own additional JubiBucks, you get that all over again. What about on Monday night? Again. Tuesday night, you get an override all over again. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're talking, ladies and gentlemen, daily residual income. Now, let's give you this example. You refer Maria. Now, Maria is placing her ad each day. She's earning JubiBucks, and she's maybe she's commissioning some of that out. She's got some JubiBucks that we know goes back to our JubiBuck column so that she can give away more, or perhaps use them herself. And so she's building her Jubi point totals. Now, on a Sunday, Maria is awarded 92 JubiBucks. Whatever her JubiBuck reward is that night, whatever didn't go to commissions, is considered her JubiBuck reward. That went to her JubiBuck totals. You are going to receive an additional override. So if you're at a 10% commissioning override rate, your override would be 10% of the 92 JubiBucks. So that night, on top of your daily rewards, you picked up an additional 9.2 JubiBucks. And you could have converted some of those into commissions, remember. Now, on Monday night, she was awarded 101 JubiBucks. Well, you'd get another override above and beyond your daily revenue sharing rewards yourself. So you pick up some more JubiBucks. So you can use those JubiBucks again to build your JubiBuck inventory, or you can start to commission some of that out, or any combination of the two. On Tuesday, Maria is awarded 113 JubiBucks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter if it's 113 or 1,113. In this example, you're getting a 10% override. And this is what we saw. We saw Joe Average, Sue Average starting to earn daily. And then their confidence would arise. Then they would simply share their story. And the people they would tend to share their story with were the same people that they had introduced to other businesses, and those people knew that Joe and Susie Average hadn't been making money. And now all of a sudden, Joe and Susie Average, they were able to say, hey, I'm making money now. I found a system that doesn't require you to have to recruit. You don't have to sponsor. If you want to, you can. You don't have to, and you can still generate revenues on a daily basis if you do a couple of simple tasks for the company to help promote the name of the company. And all of a sudden, maybe Joe or Susie Average referred maybe one. Maybe they referred to Maria. Or maybe they referred two or three. In this business, ladies and gentlemen, you're just one recruit away from an explosion. Now, this next part, I really don't have time to do it justice. We're going to have an optional session here in just a few moments. I'm going to show you where you can get a full training on what we call the Jubi Suite. This is going to drive the proper behavior. This is going to help teammates qualify for higher ranks. This is going to really help you build your team by offering rewards to your teammates that are out there building their business. You're going to be able to run promotional team contests over and over and over again. That's going to generate more and more buzz, more and more electricity, and more production, which is going to lead to more and more income. It's going to increase commissions for you, and it's going to increase commissions for your teammates. Now, I'm going to show you a chart. I don't have time to cover the chart. When you look at the chart, you see 0.5%. You're saying 0.5%. That can't be much. I'm going to tell you this. Having been someone in the revenue sharing space that has seen 7 figures, I believe this chart, I believe, for some of you, Tyron, someone like you, for some of you, this will earn you more income. These little 0.5% will earn you more income than perhaps any other part of our compensation system. I'm madly in love with our JubiRev Daily Leadership Bonus because Joe Average, Sue Average, everyone wins there. Everyone gets to earn daily. I love our generational bonuses, what we just talked about, those 10%, those 5%, those 1%. That's huge income should you trip over, bump into, stumble upon a recruit, someone that joins you in the business and they start to follow suit. But this chart here could be the biggest moneymaker of all. Again, I'll show you where you can get a little training on that as you come inside. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, there's really just a couple of choices that you're going to make. Obviously, I'm going to assume by now that you want to make money every single day. And so you're going to get back with the person who referred you. You're going to align with them with their JubiRev link and register. Then you're going to want to make a couple of choices. Choice number one is to choose a monthly subscription. This is like an auto ship. You're going to get, with each subscription you opt to choose. You're not mandated, but this not only has you being a product of the product, but it allows you to start to maximize the compensation. Okay, you're going to get personal use JubiBucks with either of these subscriptions. So if you're at a $15 US dollar a month subscription, you get 15 personal use JubiBucks. What that means is you get to use those 15 JubiBucks. You can't give those away to generate points, but you get to use them in our system to buy whatever it is you want to buy. All right. And $15 will go towards that. So if you bought a $20 item, $15 of that goes towards the $20 item. You just come up with the extra $5 and shipping and handling. If you're Jubi 50, Jubi 100, Jubi 200 is where I would really have you to focus in on. Not only does it allow you to get $200 a month worth of product, but it's going to really position you to make all of the money as opposed to some of the money. That's your choice based on your current financial situation. Okay, now here's something to help you in your planning purposes. If you are a JADE director, you're there because either you had enough outside customer activity to generate the $15 of personal qualifying volume, that's what PQV stands for, or you have the $15 a month subscription yourself. Well, if you are JADE director, congratulations, your Jubi points earn for a whopping 80 days. All you've got to do is place an ad a day, give some samples, and you're earning for the next 80 days for every Jubi point. That means Jubi points you earn today, earn for 80 days. Jubi points you earn next week, they earn for 80 days. Jubi points you earn April the 13th, they earn for 80 days. So this really allows you to build long-term daily, not monthly, long-term daily residual income. But if you were Ruby, your Jubi points earn for 85 days. Emerald, 95 days. This is why I'd like you to consider that $200 a month subscription. You don't have to, but that gives you the volume to be a diamond director, and your Jubi points earn for 105 days. There's a big difference between 95 and 105, or 85 and 105, 80 and 105. Okay, so your first selection is going to be, hey, what do I want in terms of monthly product? Do I want $15 a month in product? Do I want 50? Do I want 100? Do I want 200? Do I want my Jubi points earning for 80 days, 85 days, 95 days, 105 days? The second option that you're going to do is choose a number of JubiBucks that you want to order as your virtual inventory. The more you choose to purchase, and it should only be based on your discretionary funds. Please do not go out and get yourself in a bunch of debt. The more you're able to purchase, then the more inventory you're going to have initially, the more you can give away, the more you give, the more you get, the more you give, the more you get. Now, some of you have the resources to do a lot more than $2,500, and you can load up funds for more than $2,500, but the system's going to allow you to purchase $2,500 at a time as a maximum initially. Then you'll give away enough of those, and you'll be able to come back and buy more if you would like. What I love about this system, ladies and gentlemen, is whether a person doesn't have a lot of resources or a person has a decent amount of resources, you can get started. You can start building up those Jubi points. Okay, so to get started, you're going to get back to the person who referred you. You're going to get registered with them. I'm going to show you how to upgrade your subscription, how to purchase JubiBucks. In time, in just a few short weeks, we'll start placing our ads on a daily basis, and you can begin right now starting to spread the word. Remember, we're not just a company, we are a movement, and our attorneys like us to show these legal details. I'm going to leave that there for just a moment. We're going to open up for an optional we're going to open up for 2 sessions, an optional, very quick walkthrough in our back office, and there's a couple of announcements I want to share with you. And then there'll also be an optional Q&A thereafter. If you have to leave us, we hate to see you go, but we certainly understand that. If you want to stick around for the optional sessions, you feel free to do so. Here's the last legal page that our attorney wants us to make sure that we show. I'm going to leave it up there for just a moment. While that's there, I'm going to go on and log into our training account. Bear with me. And what we're going to do with this first session, we'll keep this to somewhere between, we'll probably go to the top of the hour on this particular session, and then after that we will open up for our optional Q&A. This is our custom, as you will, is to do about a 45-minute presentation, and then from there to do a quick back office walkthrough, and then from there to do an optional Q&A. Okay, so when you come into your back office, now when you are registering with the person who referred you, when you're registering with them, you're going to be going to their JubiRev. Remember, that's our marketing arm. You're going to be going to the JubiRev.com/username site. Now, they may have a domain name that they're using a domain name and then directing you to their JubiRev.com/username. However, when you are actually logging into your account, you're going to log in to JubiMax.com/members. JubiMax.com/members. Okay. So we've just logged in. This is our test account here. All right, our training account. When you first come in here, would love for you to get a chance to meet our president so you can listen to our president here. I've got a couple of very important links when your time allows. We just started our pre-launch. We were in a pre-registration phase for right about 4 weeks where people were simply pre-enrolling. They weren't making any purchases. They weren't loading any funds into the system or anything like that. We just last Thursday transition out of pre-registration into pre-launch. There's an interview that yours truly did with the president, so on and so forth. So these would be very important things to pay attention to. Now, we've just added a new tab. For those of you who are already with us, we just added a new tab, a corporate overview tab. This corporate overview has a number of different PowerPoint presentations. If you want a PowerPoint just to look at the revenue sharing, just click here. You can look at it right there. You can even share it. There's a little share button right down here. There's even a little share button right down here. If you don't remember which button, just scroll over each one of these and it'll tell you print. This one says share. Okay. If you want one that basically just covers the compensation piece so that you still goes through some other parts of the compensation, some other parts of the presentation, but this one goes through more of the compensation pieces here, and it goes into it in more detail than what we do in our 45-minute presentation. Okay, you've got that. And then if you want the full unadulterated version, this is more than what I share when we're doing our webinars. But if you want that, it's right here, ladies and gentlemen. This was just added over the weekend. Again, right here from home, this is corporate overview. Now, we want everyone to go through the quick start. This is important. Everyone go through the quick start. As a matter of fact, there is a video on the home page. This second video here walks you through that quick start as well. So we want everyone to go through the quick start. It takes about 10 minutes to go through the quick start to set up your profile. Make sure you've got your shipping profile in there. there's a calendar function. This tells you about the calendar, so you know about all of our events. Hey, friend on Facebook, follow on Twitter, and let me show you something about our YouTube channel. You can get to our YouTube channel from this section of the website or from the home section of the website right here on the right-hand side. If you click onto the YouTube channel here, this is the corporate YouTube channel. And the reason this is important is every video that you see here, you can leverage. So for instance, here's a presentation like what we've just done here today. Well, you want to get this presentation out to folks 24 hours a day, 7 days a week without regard as to whether or not they can make a live webinar. Here, just come here and grab the link and send it to them. As a matter of fact, if you want to put it on your blog, for those of you that are bloggers, feel free. Feel free. There's a 4-minute and 44-second professionally produced video. A great way to get your message out. A great way to load that on your Facebook page. A great way to tweet it out. And it, in 4 minutes, gives a great sizzle message for your prospect. So even if you say, I'm not good at recruiting or sponsoring, but you've got folks in your Facebook profile, you've got folks in Skype or what have you, come back here and grab the link, send it to them, and then include a copy of your referral link. You just never know. You're just one recruit away from an explosion. Okay, so you say, all right, I've gotten started, I've registered, man, I'm ready to go on, and I want to load funds into the system so I can purchase my monthly subscription and I can purchase my inventory. How do I do that? Well, you're going to come over here to where it says My Account. Now, by now, you would need to have edited your profile because you're going to have to give the system a PIN number for added security. So My Account, My Financials. My Account, My Financials. My Account, My Financials. All right, so My Account, My Financials, come over here to where it says eCash. And this is where you're going to be able to load money. If you click here where it says Load Money, it's going to give you the 5 current ways that you can load. Now, some of you already have an active PASA or an active Solid Trust Pay account. You already have funds in those accounts. This is your quickest way because this is an automatic transfer. As soon as you do that, it brings you back and you'll see the funds that are loaded. When you click on the button and you're loading, it's going to let you know, excuse me, I've been having a problem with my Internet Explorer. If you have an issue, I noticed yesterday that some of these were graying out on Internet Explorer. When I went to Firefox, I had no problem whatsoever. All right, so in any event, simply determine how much you want to load and then click Load Money. It's going to share with you what the fees are. The company is not eating any of the fees, or fees related to these are third-party fees. The company's not eating those fees. We don't want the company to eat those fees because then that would lower our daily revenue. So it'll show you exactly how much of your purchase is going to wind up being in your eCash. Now, we also have something called a Jubi account that's right here. Most people are able to set this up pretty quickly. And so Jubi account is another way that you can not only load money into the system, but this is going to be a great way to receive commissions. The one challenge when you're using, let's say, Solid Trust Pay or PASA to receive commissions is you're having to pay the receipt fees. It might be a couple of percent, 2.5%, or what have you. So if you were receiving $100 of commissions, you don't actually get a net of $100. It might be a net of $97 and some change. Well, the Jubi account is a way to get far more of that because you're not being hit with all of those fees as you receive commissions. So again, you'll find this option under eCash, and you can read all about the Jubi account, how that works there. Okay, so now we just went live last Thursday with folks being able to load money. What should go live later this week is this upgrade button here. If you click here now, it just refreshes the page. But very soon when we click upgrade, you're going to be able to purchase your monthly subscription and purchase your Juby bucks. Okay? So if you go on a load money now, then just as soon as we're ready to upgrade in our pre-launch phase, you'll be able to purchase your monthly subscription and you'll be able to purchase Juby bucks. Real quickly, come down here to where it says training. Come down here to where it says training, and what you're going to see is a number of videos. We've got a back office orientation here, and just view the videos in chronological order. Looks like they just changed how this was showing from the last time I was back here late last week. All right, so just watch them in chronological order. You really want to understand the comp plan? You really want to get the comp plan? Ladies and gentlemen, this is where you want to be. The training on the comp plan, each one of these videos, ladies and gentlemen, these are comprehensive training videos. They're not designed to the public at large. They're only designed for our promoters so that you can thoroughly understand the compensation plan and then how to maximize the compensation plan. We walk you through each of the ways that the company pays us. Now, there's still a few more videos that need to come back here, but I can tell you, if you just watch these here, you've got plenty of ammunition in building your business. Okay, and then lastly here, then we'll open up for Q&A. Pay attention to everything across this top here. From the quick start, we've already covered, to news, so that you can get any updated news information here, to calendar, so you can see our calendar of events, what webinars are taking place when, what are the links that you can use and the links that you can go on and start getting out, and your promoter links. Your promoter links. This is where you can start getting your link out to tell everyone else about JubiRev. And then soon, once we go live with the products and manufacturing is ready to ship out products, our customer pages will go live. All right, so we're going to transition from here. I want to give a couple of quick announcements, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. So this would be the time, if you haven't already done so, to open up your questions box and start to ask your questions. Couple of